What's up, everybody? Welcome to Facts Not Included. I am Peter, and of course, I'm joined by the wonderful Mike Votto. What's up, Mike?
I'm pretty good. It's good to be back. What's up, guys?
Yeah, we we got to see. Um, I don't know how should we put this. Probably
Well,
one of
I would
the
say on the good graces of T-Mobile. So
yeah,
shout out to T-Mobile for doing something decent once every half a year for T-Mobile Tuesdays.
yeah. They gave us $4 tickets to see a atrocious little film.
Mm,
I
a
mean,
B movie.
it's weird because all of their $4 movies, with I guess the exception of Wonder Woman, are terrible.
Yeah,
Like, what was it, Suicide Squad, I
which I never
think?
got to see. So
Oh,
I really
right.
squandered my chance on that one.
Yeah, then Justice League, I think it was one of them.
Yeah, it was.
Wonder Woman, and then now this, and I think there was another movie that did it, but I had no interest in it. But like, just goes to show you, if you ever get a $4, coupon from T-Mobile, chances are,
The movie's gonna be shit.
yeah, chances are that studio is telling T-Mobile, please help us, please
Yeah.
help
Well,
us.
like they say, you get what you pay for. So.
That is an excellent point. So, I mean, um, going into this movie, I avoided trailers. We're talking about The Predator, of course, just in case you didn't know what you clicked on. I didn't watch any trailers. I've never watched any of the original movies. Have you? Have you seen any of them?
No, I actually haven't. That's like the one '80s franchise I have not caught up on yet. I've seen Terminator, Aliens, most of them, except Predator's one I've not managed to see any of the original. I haven't seen the original movie. I haven't watched any of the AVP, the Alien versus Predator movies, which I've
Yeah.
heard are like pretty shit anyway.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I mean, like, you got me on the Alien train. I never was an Alien fan. Never had any interest in watching it, but you were like, you have to. It's an American classic, and
I
I'm
mean, it
just
is. It's a horror classic, yeah.
yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll take a look into it. I do prefer, though, being that I've seen this film. I guess I prefer the Alien franchise, and I've seen
Yeah.
like three Alien movies, and all of them have different variations of greatness or whatever, but they're
Mhm.
all for me pretty good. Even Covenant is pretty solid for me, but this movie's total trash.
Yeah.
And that's so sad because I kept hearing from fans and people like on Twitter or whatever, like, oh, we're really excited to see what Shane Black does because if he could bring this franchise back to its glory days, then this is great. But I think they kind of dropped the ball on this one, which is kind of sad because Shane Black is, I don't know if you knew this, he's kind of been involved in the franchise since day one. He
See, I
was,
didn't know. I mean, I was reading on Wikipedia, like I came across his name, but like I can't put, a face to any of his works.
so he apparently was like a ghostwriter or some sort of writer on the original Predator movie.
Hmm.
And then he was also in it. Like, he's apparently,
Oh, cameo.
yeah, he was in the original 1987 Predator. I don't know as who or what, but like, think about this guy. He directed Iron Man 3. He directed The Nice Guys. He directed probably Robert Downey Jr.'s beginning of his greatness again, his resurgence with I don't know if you ever seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
No, I'm not.
So that's a great movie, and that's kind of probably what put him on Marvel's radar. I would assume because that came
I
out
see.
like what 3 years before Iron Man, and yeah,
Because what I know of Robert Downey Jr., like nobody wanted to work with him because his history was like so bad.
yeah, but he was like a cokehead, drug addict,
Yeah,
or
he's a drug addict. Yeah.
it, it- and so yeah, so that like kind of brought him back. And
Hmm.
thanks to Shane Black, and then Iron Man 3 is I think one of the better
I
Iron
liked
Man
Iron Man
movies.
3.
Yeah. And so, of course, going into this movie, you're like, oh, it's Shane Black. He's gonna deliver. And what happened is I can't even explain. I don't know if it's his fault. I don't know if it's the writer's fault, the studio. Mike, what happened with this movie?
I really, tell you the truth, I just feel like it's such a schizophrenic movie. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It's just very like, it's just all over the place. I guess for $4 you can't bitch too much. I mean, the popcorn kind of negates that fact. The popcorn
Yeah.
was $8, but you know, such as the price of New York City movie theaters. But still, I just feel like the movie was just. I mean, I guess it was fun. I can't say it wasn't a fun movie. Like I enjoyed the action and like shit exploding, but at the same time, it was just so like tacky. Everything was so like just just like over the top and just cheesy. Which I mean is good to an extent, you know,
Mhm.
hence the movie. But I think it just tried too hard in so many places.
The other thing I kept getting from people is that, the first two Predator movies took themselves seriously, and that
Mm.
was what this movie lacked. Is that it didn't take itself seriously. It went full campy, but
Pretty
to
much, yeah.
an extent that it wasn't even fun to watch in areas. I do agree though. The action in this movie is worth the $4 ticket price. Hopefully,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did see this movie at $4. If you
$4.
don't,
That's it.
yeah, if you don't, I'm sorry. Like if you pay $17, $15 or whatever for this movie, I apologize. But if you do get to see it for a cheap price, go ahead. Enjoy yourself. It's a fun Friday night movie. It's a fun weekend movie. Yeah, I'll say that. The goriness, I was again, no I know nothing about the franchise. So the goriness took me by surprise. I was not expecting to see spines. I wasn't expecting to see heads ripped off or whatever
It was
like
pretty
that.
messy. It was a pretty gory ass movie.
Yeah.
But like I was telling you, like Friday, it's like every other like B character gets like gets thrown in. Like every B character gets like destroyed like in like the most gory way imaginable. But the main character in like this side team until the end, they just all they do is get like thrown.
Yeah, I mean it's like your cliched the team won't die
More or
situation. We'll
less. Like
we'll
they could have done
protect
a much
them.
better job, like making it look like he was actually getting, injured but without being killed. But literally, it was the Predator had one move. Like he had one non-lethal move. He literally just picked somebody up and threw them.
Yeah, and it sucks because the actor guy, what's his name? Oh my god. The lead. Uh
Ryan Holbrook.
yeah,
That's
Boyd
the actor's name. Yeah.
yeah, Boyd Holbrook. He
Boyd
is he's phenomenal. And yet
He's in Narcos. If you haven't seen that, he does a really good job. He's in the first two seasons.
that's one show I've never. I
It's a
got to.
great show.
I watched like 3 episodes and I never like fell in love with it.
It's slow,
So
but
he's good in it.
it picks up.
He's good in it. Like
Yeah, he's really good. He's the main guy. He's the main. Well, other than Pablo, he's the main. Like, he's like he's a protagonist, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I forget. I forget. That's why. But I remember he's in Logan. I know he's one of the bad guys in Logan, if not the bad guy. Um, he's in that movie. He's in Gone Girl. I know that. So like he's been around the block, and he was probably hired to sell this movie.
He's the anchor, more or less.
Is he Schwarzenegger's like character in a
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, he's Schwarzenegger. He's the main. Yeah,
Yeah. So I feel bad for him because it's like he did.
big shoes to fill.
Yeah, and he did his job, and yet in such a poor film. But there was a thought I just had, and I totally lost it. But I think it had to do with you were saying that the easy kills, and then yet for him it was so complicated. If you
Yeah.
at least made it seem like he was struggling, not once
Yeah.
did I feel like this character had a struggle to fight the predator. It
Or
just
was in mortal danger? Like he was like seconds from being killed. It was just like all the Predator did was really just toss this dude around.
And the part that really pissed me off regarding him and not dying is, and I think I told you this. Yeah, I told you this when we left the theater. The whole like ending scene with
The other bad guy.
the barrier around the
The
ship.
spaceship, the force field.
Yeah,
It was
the
so
f-
stupid.
the fact that there's like 8 feet between the ship and the force field, so that he could slide through, was just so comical. 'cause
generally in
it's-
movies, like ships have either like the force fields are usually like I don't know, like much further away from the ship. Like I don't know, they're like barriers. But this they were like hugging the ship. It was kind of weird.
I didn't understand. Like, and how could I'd never seen people like sit on top of a barrier like that. I'd even seen it cut people before. It was just weird. And
Yeah, it was when the dude got his legs cut off. The sex addict guy was just like
Yeah.
so stupid. The way like the camera like so what happens like I remember like the thing was closing on him, doesn't notice it, and then the last minute he looks down. It's like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon. And like everything stopped for a split second. Then he gets his legs cut and he flies away. It was like seriously, it was out of like a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon. It was so stupid.
was like the coyote and the roadrunner.
Yeah, like when they like run and then there's no ground underneath them and there's like a split second before they actually fall and they look down. It was literally like that. It was literally that.
Oh my god, that is very true. Another moment in this movie that again he is not in danger is you think he is when they deal with the dogs because his son has been taken
Hmm.
or some shit, and again he's fighting these dogs and he's kicking ass and he's just shooting them, and it's like I get he has to be seen as the badass lead and protagonist, but show him in danger a little bit and then I'll care more. Because if he's just this, I don't want to say he's like, I wouldn't say he's a Mary Sue, but to say that he was, I didn't feel like he was ever gonna die or ever gonna be in
I mean, he
danger.
kind of is well, like Gary Stu for the male, but I guess he kind of was like because the dude didn't screw. He didn't like wasn't nervous. He didn't sweat. He was like everything with him was just like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and he like he does it without like much issue. Like
Mhm.
there's no like weakness or breaking point. Like he felt like he pretty much. But I mean, the whole character is pretty much a Superman. I mean, look at the end. Like he gets like, oh, that's my suit. He wants to like
Yeah,
becomes like an Iron Man, a Predator Iron Man, pretty much at the end of the movie. It's just like just silly.
I also don't get his motive. Like, I don't feel like he had one in the beginning because, okay, first off, one when I first saw the movie open, I felt like, oh, this seems like it's gonna be a good movie. It's a nice, it sounds like a nice original score. The movie sounds and looks good. Like, what is this whole ships are falling? This is really interesting. And then, obviously later the movie turns to crap. But beginning of the movie, he sends the ship, the contents of the ship, back to his house, which we had no idea was his house until like later on.
Yeah.
Thanks for explaining that to us, guys.
I thought the whole like the kid and the mom was like completely separate. I thought it was just some random. It was just some random kid. That was at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess once she gets the package, you could put two and two together. It's his family, but like the movie just abruptly cuts to the kid in the classroom. And I'm like, what does this have to do with him? It's also the thing like he goes from the jungle to the city in Mexico. There's no like how he got there,
Yeah.
and then he just like walks up to the guy. He turns invisible. Do
I
you
didn't
remember
know that was him until like he turned invisible.
Yeah.
I was so confused. I'm like, you're not. I at least give me like, and I know movies do this a lot, but at least give me like Mexico City, circa
Yeah,
2000, and
yeah.
write something like present day, or so that if you have any inclination that the audience is going to be confused, well, they're going to be confused, and I feel like that was kind of big here. At least listen, if the both of us were confused about it, I'm sure the whole theater was pretty baffled as well.
The whole theater consisting of about 8 people.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Not gonna be a moneymaker this weekend, I don't think. at least not here in New York. At least in that. But okay, he ships the stuff back, and then like you said, it cuts to like Mexico, whatever, and it shows the kid again, like in the United States, and again, none of this is making any sense. But then, so we see the kid in chess class or chess club or whatever, and this is where you and I were just like, why is this happening? Clearly it's the scene to show that this kid has some sort of disability.
Yeah.
It's to show that he has Asperger's, and so they make fun of him of it. I think they say like, I think we want a good like a plate of Asperger's or something, whatever.
Yeah, they taunt him. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then the fire alarm goes off because
pulled it.
because of the kids pulled it, and the kid's freaking out. He's tapping his ear and he's screaming, and then you mentioned something I thought I was the only one that noticed. The fire alarm just abruptly stops.
Yeah. It's like hell.
That will never happen, ever in real life. The fire alarm will keep going and going and going. So
And first of all, they would have found the kid and like evacuated him. Because remember the teacher? There was a teacher in the classroom.
Yeah.
Do you remember that in the beginning? I don't know if he just disappears from the scene entirely. Kids come in, they bully him, then they leave, then they pull the fire alarm. The kid's by himself.
yeah, so
And
like
it's unaccounted for during the fire.
this is probably
fire
the
zone.
worst school in California because if you see 3 kids, or I mean, technically 2 kids, go into a room while there's a fire alarm going off, you're fired. Like
Exactly. Yeah. If you're not getting those kids out of there, you're done.
you have to get those kids out of that building. Oh, I know I would be fired. I mean, come on, like this. Not again. Granted, suspend disbelief, I suppose, right? But you have to make sure that you make me believe the scenario and the scene, and I didn't believe
it wasn't believable at all. It was just when that fire alarm, like the kids, he's like in field position in the corner, alarm just abruptly cuts out. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, and I feel like if you you could have left it on in the background a little bit, let it go off, and mute the sound. You could have done that.
yeah,
Or not mute the sound, but like tone it down a bit, and then again showing that he has some intellectual prowess. He puts down the pieces right where they were 10 seconds ago. So that was I guess cool to see. But I think I mentioned this to you too. It's like I understand you want inclusion in movies, and this is a cool way to show a child with such abilities.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this movie was the place to do it, because I don't know. It's just because the ending, the whole reason the guy was there, the predator was there, so that he could take a kid with Asperger's home. Like, and you mentioned that, like, oh well, it could have been any kid. They could have just grabbed any kid from any planet or any country.
Why
or
this kid?
Why him specifically? Yeah.
Why I don't know how old the kid is. He's like probably below 10, but like,
Yeah.
why this kid with the Asperger's? Where they can grab like a million intellectual geniuses of any age. It was just so strange. Just one kid they want.
Well, I get why the kid with that Asperger's, because Olivia Munn's character mentions that like that's the next evolution in human kind.
Mm-hmm.
But literally any kid with it you could have grabbed.
Yeah.
So like again, doesn't fit the plot for me. It doesn't make sense. Now, if you said, well, it's because specifically this kid holds the key, blah 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 blah, whatever. But they didn't really do that. They were just like,
it was super special. He had like super DNA mutation. They could have made it more sci-fi. I just got away with it. But they kind of just, he has Asperger's. They didn't really go more detail than that.
Yeah,
that was it.
And so essentially, this whole movie is about Predator coming down to warn the humans that another Predator is coming down.
I know.
Which we don't even find this out until an hour into the movie. I remember checking my phone, which I never do when I see a movie. And I took my phone out and I was just like, oh, now we find out what the hell this movie's about? Like, I've never felt so confused in a movie theater before.
It just made no sense, the plot. Like, the whole first plot I'm thinking of is just this Predator. He's trying to retrieve the helmet. He's, got captured. He's going ballistic. He's killing everyone on the base. And then you find out he's the good guy. And then there's another Predator that comes and kills him. And then they got to fight the other Predator for what reason?
Did you at one point, because I felt this way, did you at one point think there was at least 3 or 4 Predators on planet Earth?
Yeah, because wasn't there multiple Predators in the ship?
That's what I thought, yeah.
But I thought there was a whole crew of them coming down.
But,
I thought it would be like an invasion at some point. They had multiple ships, so there had to be at least from the beginning of the movie, it looked like they were staffed by multiple people. So, yeah, there must have been multiple Predators, but you only see 2 in the movie.
Which confused the crap out of me. That's why I didn't know at first who was who. And then they made the clear distinction at some point where it's like, this one's massive. This one's like a beast.
Super Predator, yeah. He's like 10 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah, so they made that distinction, and that he could, what was it, that he was like, his own skin is like his own barrier.
Yeah. He was actually an armored exoskeleton.
Yeah,
like
that's
a predator hunter, pretty much.
Right. That's what happened. And so, like, okay, you made that distinction, but this whole time I'm thinking there's like 18 Predators walking around, and it's only 2 guys.
That would have been interesting. That would have been a fucking twist.
That would have been a great movie, I think. Like throwing a bunch of Predators and seeing them.
Do you know the throwaway line where they're like, they're trying to, they're like in the lab, and they have the Predator on the table, and they're trying to figure out like what the Predator, where he's from, like what he's made of. Mm-hmm. And then Olivia Munn's character suggests like, he's got human DNA.
Yeah.
Someone, like fucking an alien. Like they didn't go any more detail into that. Why does he have human DNA? Like what?
Who gives a crap after that, no one yeah. You if you're not gonna go into it, then don't mention it.
Exactly. Why it's a throwaway line, but it has a lot of meaning. I thought they were gonna be like, oh, find out they've been capturing other humans, and it's just like they
Yeah.
never bring it up ever again.
Yeah. Until the kid, but then again, even that is kind of like you kind of already forgot about that line at that point. You forgot about the whole mission of the Predator. Like you don't care at that point when they grab the kid. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, Asperger's.
More or less. Yeah,
You're not thinking about the human alien hybrid. You're not thinking about any of that. And then, okay, can we talk? I know we mentioned this once before in Deadpool, but I feel like it's even more of an issue in this movie. Again,
CGI.
no. Well, that we'll get to that too. But okay, I curse every day. You curse. We all curse. But no one curses as much as the cast of The Predator.
Oh yeah, dude. So
This-
much profanity.
It didn't make any sense. Why are you having an 8-year-old boy curse as much as he does? Like, it doesn't fit the kid's
Oh,
character.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it doesn't. He's like a good little kid that's like quiet. You know,
Why
it doesn't
is
make any
he-
sense for him to be like swearing.
Like, when he said motherfucker once, I was fine. That was fine. I think that was the first time he said it. Because it fit. It fit into the situation. But
Yeah.
he kept doing he did it like 6 times, I feel like. And it just didn't fit his character. It didn't fit any of the other characters, really. Unless, I'm not saying it didn't fit all of them, but it just felt as if, and I see it as this. It's poor writing mistakes. Like, I don't know, guys, I don't know what to put in this line here. Oh, just put a couple curse words. The audience they'll laugh at it. It'll be fine. That's how
I
I
think it was
take
done
it.
intentionally just to be like campy. Every character's like swearing every 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just feel like it's a little cheap.
It is. It
Could've been done better.
really is. Like, Munn was doing it with, I forget the main villain guy's name.
I really don't know. He was like just.
He's from that show, the This Is Us.
Uh-huh.
Is his name? No, that's the other good guy. Sure, Sterling K. Brown. Sterling K. Brown. He's the guy that kept chewing the Nicorette cigarette gum.
Which was the dumbest. I remember that scene. It was so stupid. It was in the beginning of the movie when he gets off with the helicopter with the mercenaries. I'm like, make this guy at least like have a cigarette or like a cigar or just like
Nope.
something. He's like eating nicotine tablets. It's like
He's the most over the
like
top
yeah.
villain. And then I got so mad at this. I think I shouted it in the theater. I can't remember. The fact that at the end of the movie he quickly joins the good people.
I know.
Just like 10 seconds ago, he was like, I'm going to kill you. I have a gun on your son. Shoot him in the knees if necessary. And then all of a sudden, like, all right, let's go get the Predator.
Exactly. Just don't explain why. The dude's lost like half all his like thugs like getting like dropped by like the main team. Like he's just wiping through them, and he's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, like, not even once does he go, you know what? Yeah, I might have just lost my men, but I'm still going to kick your ass. No.
That would have been cool.
No, yeah, like, but instead, he's like, all right, let's go get this Predator. And it absolutely made no sense.
So
But
the bad guy becomes good, but he's still the bad guy, and then he like dies. Like, did you even see his death?
no, and that's the thing people are talking about too online.
Yeah, I saw that on Reddit. Like, what the fuck happened to the main bad guy? What happened? He just disappears from the movie.
And this goes with the whole editing issue that this movie has. I kind of want to know who was the editor of this film, because you did a bad job. I'm sorry.
Oh, a terrible job.
Like, you might be one of the most prolific movie editors in the history of cinema, but the fact that you messed this one up, I'm sorry. Like, the movie makes no sense from top to bottom, and especially when I have to find out from asking someone sitting next to me, where's the main guy? Did he die? If I have to find that out that way, you did a bad job. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. You don't lose the villain of the movie and then question or not. Wait, did he just go away? Oh yeah, they just showed it, but it happened in such a quick and weird way that you'll never know. Yeah, not good stuff, guys. What else? Oh yeah, so the CGI in this film. Ooh, there are moments where it's just like, did you even look at this? Like the ships in the beginning of the movie kind of did that for me too. Did you feel as if they?
It was a little. I mean, the ships when they were flying around, I felt like it was pretty. Like it looked stiff. It looked very like CGI wise. It looked very like early 2000s. Like
Yeah.
they didn't fly realistic, like not realistically. They didn't fly. Like, it wasn't believable. They were like it was like something like it's like a kid. I remember like a kid playing with like a spaceship and he's going. "Yeah," he's playing with a plane. And he's kind of like shaking it as he like moves his arm like in a direction. That's how I felt. Like it just was like it looked cheap.
Yeah, it does. It actually, the ships, like the metal, like I've seen really good CGI metal. Like Terminator does it really well. Like have you seen like as bad? It's not a great movie, but like Terminator Genesis, like when like they CGI'd that metal and Age of Ultron. I mean, granted that's a different budget,
Yeah.
but you know he looks as if he's a walking hunk of metal. CGI metal's hard to do. I get that. But you want me to believe that that's a ship flying or that's an alien wearing this, you know? It's just confusing. And I don't know. I don't know. Just for me, Predator's not scary. I don't know.
Not really.
Like without the mask, he's cute and just weird looking. But
Dreadlocks. Yeah. It's
yeah.
just silly.
With the helmet on, yeah, it's terrifying. It looks like a black skull type of thing. But without the helmet on, he has his teeth sticking out. I'm just like, ugh, okay, that's adorable. Actually, it's actually not all that terrifying. If anything,
Not really a horror movie villain, but I don't think really Predator was really a horror movie. I think it was just more of an action thriller. I don't think he's meant to be really scary. It's just kind of like a badass.
But from
killer
what I
monster.
understand, the original movie was seen more as a horror film.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, it's categorized here on Wikipedia as a science fiction action film, but a lot of people felt, at least from what I've heard online, again, never seen it, but from what I felt is like when it came time to the scenes with the Predator, it was seen as a horror film. Like he would come in and snatch people and scare, you know, kind of like scare the shit and the bejesus out of people. But you know, they didn't do that in this one, I guess. They kind of messed that up. The other part of this movie that I kind of like this part of the movie, the crew, the guys.
The
They
A team.
yeah, I have my issues with them, but as a whole, they were fine. But the only two guys that I do like, though, besides of course Holbrook's character, are Nebraska Williams, the main, I would say the main guy of the group besides McKenna.
That was Keegan's character, right?
No, it's this other dude, the dude that shot the CO, which means he shot himself. Remember the guy that shot
Oh
himself?
yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So him, and then of course Keegan Michael Key's character. Yeah, Cole. Cole's character is pretty funny. But the other three guys, like the Australian guy, the
Sniper dude.
I guess, yeah, he was forgettable.
He
I
really was. He was like the no. He no. I don't even know what his shtick was. I don't think he had one.
That's yeah. I think his name was. What was his name?
I don't
Lynch.
remember.
I think his name was
They were so
Lynch.
forgettable. I honestly don't remember.
And then Baxley was the, what do you call it? The Tourette's guy.
That was his name.
Yeah, Baxley, played by Thomas Jane. He was fun, but then he delivers the most unfunny, cringiest joke in the
Oh,
whole.
the pussy line. They eat the pussy line in a hotel.
It just wasn't funny.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It was just awkward.
It
Like,
was-
wasn't funny at all.
I first of all, they made you feel awkward just by the way Olivia Munn reacts to it, so that makes you not even want to laugh.
Yeah.
And then just thinking about it is just like, yeah, that's not even funny. Like it doesn't even fit. Like maybe if it fit, fine, but and also if you know anything about the movie's history, like during production and stuff, apparently there was like some sort of sexual, you know, predator
Oh, yeah, I was actually
person.
mentioning that earlier. It was the dude Shane Black. He had a friend who was like a sex offender,
Right.
and he wanted to put him in like a 2-minute scene, and then they had a big fuss about it, so they edited it out.
Yeah. So that's what happened. Okay. That's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
And so that's not funny, you know, or good at all. Yeah, so you can't be doing that, Shane Black. Come on. Now the question is, was he aware? Did they know? Like, was he aware that his friend was
I think Shane Black was, but the cast was not.
right? Because I know Olivia Munn had a and that's why this joke fell flat for me too, because I knew Olivia Munn had a big hand in getting him out of there. Um, like Twitter praised her for stepping up for the victim, because apparently the victim has spoken out about it. Like, his original victim or whatever. And so like she's played a pretty big role in getting him out of that movie, which is kind of like, why did she have to do it? Shouldn't it have just been a no-brainer as to maybe we shouldn't have a sexual predator on the Predator set? Like,
Exactly. God damn it.
like what is wrong with people?
Yeah, that's just weird. I'm sorry. Like, that's just friggin' weird.
Yeah. And then you had Augusto Aguilera. I'm definitely saying his name wrong. But he was Nettles. He was the Jesus dude. He's the one that got close to everybody in a weird sexual way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was strange. That character, I thought was gonna die right away. When you remember when the Predator grabs him on top of the bus?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna die right there, but then it's like, no, he just gets. Yeah, I thought that character was gonna get killed, but then nope, just gets thrown off.
Yeah. Again, why didn't you just kill him right then and there? Because he's the one that gets his knees chopped off at the end. So like,
Yeah. It would have had more impact if he died during that bus scene, because then it's like, okay, the Predator's not like fucking around. Like, one guy's already down.
Exactly. But maybe that goes to show that the Predator wasn't here for them, and it was here for the little boy. I don't know.
See, what's also weird is, like, I guess you could say, like, the last final scene, like the final fight scene, all the entire cast survives up to that point, but then yet everybody dies.
Yeah. Was it for that reason? Like, is there... Because at that point, kill them whenever. Like, do you need them to make it all the way to the end? And so what... And then they push the sequel at us at the end of the movie.
That sequel bait.
And it's just like, well, with who? Who are you gonna do the movie with? Are you gonna get a new crew, or like, what's the deal? Like, you had a pretty decent cast, and you just kill them all. All you have left is your son, and that's it. And then Olivia Munn, I suppose, unless she, I don't remember. Did she die? No, she's alive.
No, she didn't die. It was just the A-team that died.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she didn't die because she got promoted too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what? I'm so confused. Well, then again, there isn't going to be a sequel to this movie. There better not be. Fox.
I don't think they'll be.
Well, then again, Disney whenever the sequel would come out, Disney at that point will be the sole proprietor owner of this company, so they'll make the decision. And,
that is true.
And the decision will be the House of Mouse says no. There's no way you make a sequel to this garbage pile of a fucking movie. Remember I told you my favorite part of this movie, was the moment when the kid finds the Predator helmet and he uses it for his Halloween costume.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was great.
The movie turned into fucking... Alright, so, yeah, it jumps the kid's trick-or-treating by himself. It turns into, like, a horror... Like a classic horror movie, like a cliche classic horror movie for, like, 5 minutes. Then the kid friggin', like, the, whatever, teenager throws the egg at him and it just blows the house up.
Yeah. Imagine that happening in real life. Like, hey, kid, fuck you. Yeah.
Did the kid even give a fuck? He just killed someone, he just destroyed off someone's home. He just walks away, like.
No, yeah. What he did was he antagonized his bullies. Remember, they looked at him and he kind of taunted them with like a quick like nudge forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, again, this is not this kid's character.
This kid's a sociopath.
Yeah. Not only does he have Asperger's, he's a sociopath. Like, it just, goes to, though it's my favorite part of the movie, it goes to show you that they didn't know who their characters were.
Yeah.
That kid would never do that. Like,
No.
He's so sweet, so kind. He would never taunt his bullies, I don't think. And he would never, obviously, granted, he didn't kill that guy. It was the mask that did it. But he would have reacted. And I don't think he did. Like, he was just like, oh, I killed somebody. And then
I'm reading the Wikipedia plot.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Rory accidentally kills a man with a predator armor and blows up his house, causing chaos in the neighborhood.
Oh.
That could have been a plot for a movie by itself.
Mm. That would have been cool. Imagine that's in the new Halloween movie. That movie better be
He has
good
like a
though.
rocket launcher. He just blows people's houses up.
Yeah, that's the new Mike Myers. That's all he does. That's all he does. He walks around and he's like, I'm sick and tired of using. What is it that he
Knives.
uses?
I guess his knives. I guess just like hand weapons.
Yeah, I'm sick and tired of using these things. I created my own grenade launcher. That will be a good movie. But I don't know. Not this movie. This movie, and it's funny because Antonio was like, "Don't give any spoilers. I want to find out for myself." But dude, save the money. Save the money. Stay home. Eat some popcorn at home, and watch Avengers: Infinity War again. Do something else. I don't know. Rent. Oh, you know what? A movie that I know we're talking about The Predator, but a movie that you should watch. That's at home that you could rent. I think it's called The Last. It's the last Burt Reynolds movie. So it's called The Last Superstar or Movie Star.
Uh-huh.
And it's a movie about Burt Reynolds. He's playing a character. Excuse me. He's playing a character that is kind of like just like himself in real life. He's in his 80s. He was a huge box office draw in the 80s and 70s and 80s. And he's reliving his past, and he's making anything he had wrong with people, he's making it right. It's one of those types of movies. I'd say watch that movie instead. Rent it on Apple, on iTunes or something, and sit back and relax and enjoy that movie, but not this movie. What do you think, Mike? What would you say people will do this weekend? Should they go out and see The Predator?
No. No.
I feel like no. Yeah, me too. I mean,
Unless you get it for $4. Unless you can get T-Mobile and you want to just do something fun on a Saturday night. That's all right then. But not for $16, $17, $18.
Yeah, and what movies are in theaters now? That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't think anything really that good. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Is there anything in theaters right now?
There's that White Boy Rick movie. I want to see that.
Mm.
I want to check that out. But there's like movies called Unbroken Path to Redemption. Sounds like a Christian movie. A Simple Favor, which I don't know what that is, but it looks like Anna Kendrick's in that. Not really much going on this weekend or the next couple of days.
Not till next month, I think. Or November. I know Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know what else. Not really up to date with the fall. The fall lineup is.
And then The Nun is out, but I heard that was atrocious too.
Oh yeah, that's out now.
I heard that was a pile of trash, and we wanted to cover it, but we haven't. But I don't think I want to see that either.
Yeah, I heard the Happy Time Murders wasn't even that good as well.
Like, what is with the world and movies?
Stinkers after stinkers.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I think we should wrap it up here because there's not much to say about
No, not really. Kind of a crappy movie, really. It's a crappy action movie.
But we had a good night. We made a good night of it. Had some drinks, had some food, and then saw this movie. So it was worth it.
Made it better.
Everything around the movie was worth it.
Exactly.
So if you do go see it, make sure that you have a good night before and after, and then you could call it a good day.
Exactly. Lead up. Do something leading up to it. Don't base your whole night based on this movie.
Yeah. So, for those that are listening to this before or even after, I don't mind. But, make sure you do check out the interview with the wonderful Ashley Victoria Robinson that we have coming out soon. Going to be sitting with her tomorrow, it seems. And she's going to be talking all about her Kickstarter. It's called Science. It's a comic book that's coming out very soon. So, definitely check that out and check out the interview we had with her. Actually, quick, we didn't do this. Mike, how many, well, out of 10, sorry. What would you give this
10?
movie? Yeah.
I guess movie a 5.
I would have to agree. 4.5, 5, something in that area. It was, it's where it belongs. But yeah, I agree. So make sure you guys are checking us out on Facebook and Twitter, which is where all the news for Facts Not Included comes out. And also make sure that you are following us on where you find your podcasts and all that fun stuff. So I've been Peter, and this has been
Facts Not Included.
Yeah, but what's your name? No, what's your name? You forgot.
What's my name? It's Michael.
Yes,
It's
Michael. His name isn't Facts Not Included. So we've been the two guys from Facts Not Included. So we'll see you guys next time. Have a good week.